Hi everyone, it's Steve Quinn of Steve & Quinn Associates. I'm an executive coach and I have a question for you today about coaching. The question is, does it matter which coach you have? And it absolutely does. It really does, and I want to explain in the next couple of minutes why it's important that you pick the right coach for you. So coaches come in all shapes and sizes. They come from lots of different backgrounds. Some of them specialise in particular areas of coaching, which I'll talk about a little bit in a moment. And for me, choosing a coach is a matching process. It's about saying, what do you need as someone being coached, and kind of find a coach that fits that. And fit and chemistry and what you need are kind of key aspects of that I'd like to explore a little bit further. So fit and chemistry, is this someone I can work with? Is this someone I like or dislike or I'm neutral about? Does it feel as if we're kind of more or less in tune, or are we kind of broadcasting in different channels? You need to be kind of making sense of that. You also need to be clear about what you need, and sometimes you know someone looking for coaching is, and that's good. They're really clear about the agenda. Perhaps they've set it with the organisation, and they're just looking for a coach that can help them do whatever that is. And it's really important that you find a coach who'll work with your agenda. Not their agenda, not just the organisation's agenda, but your agenda specifically. And if you're not clear about your agenda, then it's important that an early stage of the coaching discussion is about pinning down what's your agenda, so that there's a kind of starting point, a sense of direction for coaching as it begins. So what can you expect of a great coach? Well, you can expect them to be great listeners. You'll have the experience of they're giving you their full attention. And you'll notice that because it's quite rare, and for most of us in organisations. So great listeners. They'll ask great questions which will make you think, and of course they'll give you time to answer them, which again is a bit of a luxury. They'll ask questions which stretch your thinking, which challenge perhaps. They'll also occasionally ask you kind of showstopper questions, those ones that just go, I hadn't thought of that, or that's such an important question and I don't have an answer for it yet. So those game-changing, show-stopping questions, you'll get them from a great coach. Not every question, but from time to time, and that's an important kind of value-add thing that they bring. I also think a great coach should be interested in you, interested in your development, interested in your progression, whatever that is, in whatever area you want to work in, but genuine interest in the idea that you have the capacity to grow, to become more effective, whatever. Yeah, so a real interest in you. And I talked a little bit earlier about questions to encourage thinking. Encouraging different thinking and to explore your thinking is an important part of the coaching relationship. Space and time to think. The injection of fresh thinking if perhaps you need some new ideas or something that you're unaware of that might help you to work your way through. Then that can be really good. And also thinking challenge. So that you get to test out your ideas. It's coaching can be a kind of a test bed for your thinking. You get to play with ideas before you actually put them into practice in the real world, which gives you a kind of a sandpit experience around your thinking. There's a really important aspect of coaching which is about focusing on action. In every coaching session there should be a point you reach where actions are being agreed. These are actions that you will take. It will be quite rare for the coach to be taking much in the way of action. They might provide you with some information or a web link or something, but more than likely it will be you as a result of the coaching session, deciding on the next steps, and the coach will help you to build commitment to actually making those happen. And we'll explore things which might hold you back, the kind of barriers, and also the kind of support that you might need that would be helpful in terms of making sure that this works, making sure that it happens. So a focus on action as part of coaching is really, really critical. Coaching shouldn't just be a nice conversation. It should be a good conversation that moves you forward with clarity about what the next steps are from that. So focus on action. Let's talk a little bit about specialists and whether you need a specialist. A specialist might be someone, if you're focused on career, who's a career specialist, or if you're hunting for a job, it might be someone who's well connected in terms of job hunting. So there might be a very specific area that you work on where a specialist might add value. But of course, by definition, specialists are narrow and defined, and you just need to be careful that you're not getting a specialist that's too narrow for whatever your needs are. So I think the way to deal with that is to ask your prospective coach what their experience is, what they bring, so that you can make a judgment about have they got the right mix that will be helpful for me. I think it's useful to ask your coach what their philosophy is around their coaching work. And let me just share as an example my approach to coaching, my philosophy around coaching. My philosophy is grounded on a number of things. I believe everyone has the potential to grow, to develop, that most people have the answers inside to the issues they struggle with. They haven't yet worked out the answers, maybe because they haven't had the time, the space, or the structure to help do that, and I offer time, structure and space. I also offer challenge and support, and finding the balance there is important because it's different, it's a different balance for everyone. I also take the view that when I'm working with people, I'm kind of often working with a kind of business slice, but actually there's a whole person around that. And I find that very often some of the stuff that's getting in the way of improving in the business slice is actually happening outside of that, outside of work in some way. And so I'm a great believer in being able to work with the whole person so that we can allow progress in that kind of narrow business slice. So that's my kind of way of working. I think it's really important to have some humour in the relationship. I think humour adds value by lightening things, by shifting thinking, and it's actually okay to have fun when you're coaching and being coached. So for me that's an important aspect, that we can inject some humour into that. I just think that helps. So I hope you've got the message that it really is important which coach you get, and that to make sure you do, it requires you to do a little bit of investigation to find out who you might be working with and what they bring and how that matches what you need, so that you get a good fit, good chemistry, productive relationship that's going to work for you. Coaching's not cheap, it's one-to-one, so it's not going to be cheap. But it's laser focused. You're not sitting in a group of 10 or 20 trying to work out which of the nuggets are right for you. You're actually getting attention on your stuff in a very personal way, in a very focused way, and a way that can be really, really productive. So not inexpensive, but highly effective, providing you pick the right coach. So hence my kind of labouring of that. So take time, pick a good coach, one that fits you, you won't regret that, and have fun while you're being coached. Thanks for watching today. I hope you found that useful. It gives you kind of insight into coaching and the importance of choosing a coach that fits with you. If you want to find out a little bit more about how to have a really great coaching experience, I've written an ebook. It's available to you free. All you have to do is to sign up alongside. fill in the box and you'll get an ebook which will tell you quite a lot more about how to get the best from your coaching experience. So thanks for joining me today, and I hope to talk to you again soon.